Hello everybody out there and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. This is episode 497, which means 3 more episodes until 500.
That symbol looks familiar.
It does.
It's bothering me that I don't know.
Eventually we'll figure it out. But anyway, I know I promised last week that we were going to be back on time with the review. However, me and my wonderful, all of my wisdom, did not realize that this weekend and beginning of this week was E3. So we've been busy watching E3 because all the conferences happen between the days of Friday or Saturday all the way through until Tuesday. So we've been watching the conferences, and Mike and I over on my new channel actually made 3 videos. One for the companies, one for Xbox, and one for Nintendo. If you'd like to go check them out, they're all available now. If you are subscribed to my channel, you saw that one went up in the morning, one went up in the afternoon, and one went up at night. It was literally E3 day over on my channel.
So basically they had their breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Basically. So we talked about everything. First video was EA, Bethesda, Ubisoft, and Square Enix. And then the second video was all about Xbox, which kudos to Xbox this year. And then the last video was all about Nintendo Direct, and kudos to Nintendo. Xbox and Nintendo, wow, it was a whoa convention. But if you'd like to see our thoughts on all of the stuff that we're looking forward to, check out that video. I'm not going to do a pre-review show. This is late. This review is going to be quick because there are a lot of books. For some reason, the 1 week that I'm busy, I was hoping that maybe it would be a short week because Michael's like, oh, I only have about like 3-4 books. I'm like, oh, okay, so this must be a light week for me. Looks at books. List. It's like the week that I'm going to be doing E3. The week where I think I'm going to be like maybe 1 day late for the review.
They heard you.
They did. And they just bombarded with books.
Bombarded.
And I'd like to also point out, and this is sad because in my mind, unless it's a double up book, this is the last time we are going to be reviewing most of these books. However, for the first book, there's only one more issue left. I don't know how, but I'm probably going to... Probably that with a couple of other books, I might hold on the side and do something because this is the second to last issue, and the last issue comes out in July. So I kind of feel bad.
Funny.
I know the series is ending, so I might do something special on this channel for it. I don't know yet. Don't quote me. I'm not making any promises because once this Dark Avenger comic book review is over, 500 is the end. However, I'll find... Maybe I'll make maybe I'll do a live show or something. I don't know. I'm not going to plan... I was told... I know what you're going to say. Hold on. Hold your butt. But I will find... I'll probably do a Dark Avenger live...
You're going to do a Dark Avenger live review?
I might do something for... I might do a Dark Avenger live special where I'll talk about the book because it's the last issue and I feel bad. I'm looking at it and I feel bad. Now my mind is going back to every single issue. This could be the last time we see it on the Dark Avenger. It's over soon. 3 more episodes. This is number 3. There's 2 more, and the 2 more in 500, and we're in June. And it is the last book. Go ahead, do your thing, because I'm making myself.
There are 17 books that we'll be reviewing in this episode, 17. With 3 more to go, and they were released on June 5th, 2019. The first week of June. Of June.
Because now when that's done, there's only 3 more weeks to cover, and the 3rd week is the final week of that's the 500. Yeah, that's 500. So we're gonna start off with the book that, like I said, it's to be concluded, and that's Paper Girls 29. I've got to find a way to talk about 30 because the series is ending, and I feel like we've been doing Paper Girls for several. We have been doing. I feel like we have been doing. Paper
Girls. It was
Girls.
Like during close to 100, I believe.
No, maybe after 200. It was after 200. I'm positive about that. As far as how far after, I don't remember that. But this is a good issue. The girls get back together just to kind of fix the war of the Allfather, the father, and basically the war ends, and now they have to go back, but they have to have their minds erased, and that basically means what happens to all of them, including Mac, is going to happen. It was a sad ending to this issue. I'm not going to say the story, but it was kind of sad because they get their mind wiped, they get shot, they disappear, they go back into the future. And it's sad. It really is sad how they ended this book. But now it's like, but is it really over? Is that really how it's kind of... One thing that kind of drove me nuts was it was one issue and it feels like everything was solved. The father, whatever he is, through one brain scan, all of a sudden realizes, oh crap, I'm not the person I thought, or I'm wrong. And like everything resolved all in that one moment just to get screwed up again because the girls have to go back now and forget everything that's happened. And it's like, it's a bittersweet, but it's like, I don't want the girls not remember everything. So it leaves you wondering what the last issue is going to be all about. I believe the last issue is actually going to be a double-sized, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, I'm not sure, but it was a great second to last issue. And yeah, that's Paper Girls.
We got Red Sonja issue number 5. Some more Red Sonja action and everything, which was actually like not a bad book. Like I'm trying to remember because they were talking all about, you know, them still going into war, and there's a character that they talk about. Like we go into her origin story. I just want to remember what her name is. Like I can't remember, but her story was actually really touching of how she became to be the way she is now with losing her family and all that. And they're just trying to make plans about how they're going to get through this war with motivation and stuff like that. And things get very out of hand after a while, including where they have someone captured the blood cousin of Sonja. And she wanted to do something that she did not want to do, but it had to be done for that reason. But yeah.
And this book is back just in time to be the last time on Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. Birthright issue number 36. The series is back. And Mikey, in the last issue, gave himself over to the FBI guy, basically, to kind of fix the problem that, you know, with lore and whatnot. He gets captured. He gets asked a bunch of questions about magic. You know, we find a little backstory about the people who tried to kill him issues back. And that they've been dealing with the magic. And that's happened ever since Mikey disappeared. So ever since Mikey disappeared from Earth, that's where the little snippets and little pop-ups of magic on Earth started happening, and this organization is there to kind of hide it from the world but deal with it as well. So Mikey, we get another flashback with Rook. We find out he wasn't actually taken prisoner. This was to get Mikey to learn magic, and lo and behold, Rook actually learns that Mikey has an anger management problem, which is bad. And actually, it goes into a long thing, but we find out that now that 2 of the mages are destroyed and the wall between the 2 realms is weak, either the wall gets fully fixed, or I forgot. It's either it gets fully fixed or it gets fully open and the worlds merge, or else both Earth and Tyrannos are going to explode. So it's gonna be it's interesting to see what's gonna happen next. I'm really interested. I love Birthright. I know they had a definitive end for Birthright, I believe. It's gonna be interesting to see how they work their way towards it, and I hope that it doesn't definitively end. I hope there's a way for it to keep going for a while, but I do feel like this is a story that has an ending in mind. Speaking of endings,
this and surprisingly close to ending the review. I thought I'd never see a day this would happen.
And it's the last time.
Dead
it's the last time it's going to be on the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review.
Number 192. What I thought I would never see, Rick turned.
Rick died and then turned.
Well, died and then turned. Because of that Sebastian, Anyway, getting into the issue. So he kills him, and then, you know, how he wakes up during the day. Carl finds out that he's a war... Oh, I hate looking at this part because just seeing that, I thought I would never see it. Carl feels very bad about it and finds out that Sebastian was the one that did it because he talked to his mother about it, who is the head of the Commonwealth. So he's like saying, is he punished in the cell? Because he wanted to kill him. And he said, Sebastian, when you are let go, you know, and everything... I'm going to seriously get my revenge on you and kill you. But for right now, this is what he wanted. So, you know, the whole thing. And then everybody comes for Rick for his ceremony. We see Carl that fell off the horse. And he just said that he can't go on without him. And he just can't do this. So, I felt for him in this issue.
But it's sad. I
feel it now even.
This is the last time Walking Dead will be on this review. And it's also Rick's last appearance.
It's like I remember I started with the Negan War, and then
sad, ain't it?
It is very. All right, we're going to the big two now.
And I believe Uncanny X-Men will be ending right before the Dark. Yeah, it will be the next. I think in the next issue.
So many endings they knew.
No, I think it's ending in July. So again,
but like the middle.
I don't know, but it'll have to. I'll have to work something out because anything that's ending, I do want to give an ending to, even Doomsday Clock and whatnot. But this isn't the last time we'll see Uncanny because it's doubled up right now. But this is Uncanny 18 or 19. And this is the issue where we find out Ember Frost, why everybody forgot about her, what's happened to her, and she was captive. She was captured. They put a bomb in her to keep her in line. I'm not gonna say who. Read the book. But she finds out that Cyclops is alive. She goes to see him. Of course, she has all time mentally frozen at that moment. So she puts something in his head. She goes and finds Logan. She finds out he's alive. She basically wipes her memory from Cyclops and Logan, but she kind of puts the thought in Logan that he has to go find Cyclops and protect him. So now we know that Logan didn't do this of his own thought. It was Emma Frost that kind of did it. And now we have Logan and his team who have found Emma Frost thanks to Juggernaut. And that's where this issue ends. Interesting. Looking forward to seeing how Uncanny is going to wrap all of this up. And then we're getting this big X-Men event that's supposed to start the X-Men over again. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, right?
Savage Avengers issue number 2 of Conan and Wolverine. This was actually, once again, this was another one. And when I heard of Cullen Goth, I thought he was a villain of Red Sonja.
He could have been both.
I don't know, because you remember the name Cullen Goth. I thought it was Red Sonja or something. But, it's just Cullen Goth. He comes into the story and then he hypnotizes somebody. And then meanwhile we have Wolverine and Conan who are trying to work together to... Conan finds Cullen Goth, and we have Wolverine who's doing his own business elsewhere with something. But, just Logan is trying to find out where his family is. So, it's a big, huge issue. You gotta read it just to see how it went.
Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, issue number 9. The 9s look like 8s to me from Marvel, but really enjoyed this issue. Gwen, after the ending of the last issue, saves everyone inside. Of course, there was a lot of people hurt. And then she goes off to find who did this. And she finds out about John Jameson, or the werewolf. She fights him, gets locked up. She feels super guilty about, Harry once again getting, really, really injured in the middle of all of this. And you see the MJ show up at the end as they're all kind of like getting together in Harry's hospital room. The next issue it looks like Ghost Spider no more, because you just see her with them. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see where Gwen goes from here. Love the issue, love the artwork. This time around, I feel like the arcs and the story are really strong. I definitely recommend it. I believe this is going to be the last time I review Spider-Gwen, though, which is sad, but definitely check out Spider-Gwen.
I guess I want to give this issue a try. Black Cat issue number 1.
I'm not gonna lie. I originally ordered that book, and after going through a couple of pages, I lost interest faster than you could say.
Yeah,
whoa.
I was gonna say, like, it really. First of all, Black Cat was only in like little bits and pieces.
Yeah, there was a second story.
Yeah,
I didn't even get to that.
Like,
I didn't even make it past
agent.
Black Cat.
Like, there's this agent who sees that there's something missing, which they go after Felicia, who is the Black Cat, and then he tries to get her, and then there's this whole action that goes on here where, all this happens. And then she has this organization where she has these 2 crime convicts from before, and then we have this guy, the Black Fox, who comes in, and then that's how it ended. The second story, it felt a little too cartoony, and also Dracula was in it, where he was doing his, I could turn to a bat and everything.
So it's a hard pass.
If you're a Black Cat fan, read it, but me,
It's a hard pass. War of the Realms, issue number 5. The fighting and the battle continues forward as Thor makes a decision in this book. You have the Avengers fighting all the different mystical beings all throughout Earth. And I feel like this book kind of is a promo for all of the side books, because there's a part where the Fantastic Four is in there, and obviously one of the scenes from the last Fantastic Four book is in it.
What's going on with She-Hulk?
She-Hulk is just different right now. Don't ask. Don't ask.
Well, it's War of the Realms. I shouldn't even ask.
And that you've got different teams all over the place fighting different mythical creatures. And again, it feels like a huge promo to, hey, you want to know what this team's doing? Read this book. Hey, you want to know what the Fantastic Four is doing? Read that book. Turns out Allfather and Lady Freya are alive, and they're with Malekith, and that's where she drops a bomb. And then the ending of the issue, we see multiple Thors, which is what we got before from Jason Aaron, actually, way back arcs ago, or runs ago, I should say. So it's going to be interesting to see where War of the Realms goes. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we possibly will be finishing this review with the last issue, but I'm not 100% sure. It might go into July, and I could be wrong. But either way, there will be one more War of the Realms, because there's 2 a month that we will be talking about. Moving into DC, starting with the Sandman universe, The Dreaming. I cannot review this. Number 10. I cannot review this fully. I will tell you why right now. I haven't finished reading it. This book had a lot of dialogue. I mean, every page had a lot of reading.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So, unfortunately, I've only made it through halfway of the book, and I decided that if we didn't get this comic review out today, it just wasn't going to happen. So, I didn't want to leave this book out, especially because it's the last month we're reviewing most of these books. But I will say that The Dreaming is an excellent Sandman Universe book. One of my two favorites out of the Sandman Universe series. Definitely something to look into, though. I wanted to at least mention that. Unfortunately, I can't review this book, though, because I didn't finish reading it. But I do enjoy The Dreaming. I just need more time. There's a lot of dialogue, though, so hopefully they scale back on the dialogue from this point on, but I don't know. Young Justice, issue number 6, we find out about Superboy, the baby, and the wife. Number 1, the baby's not his. Number 2, the wife isn't his. He ended up on Gem World, and it turned out she was already pregnant, and the people had killed her husband, but he jumps in and says he's her husband in order to protect her, and he stays there. He becomes a farmer, and he's been waiting for Young Justice this entire time. And that's where Tim kind of mentions about the whole everything was erased, or he says his memory was erased. They don't know the full extent, I guess, yet of what's going on, but he mentions that he forgot about Young Justice, forgot about Connor, and then he remembered, and that's why they're there. They're there to save, then the whole Gem World thing happened, and they're there now, and now they're back together. Amethyst fights Opal. They win. We also find out in this issue about Teen Lantern's origin. Apparently she's a hack from Bolivia. She found a way to hack into the Green Lantern's light, and that's how she gets her powers. So this big brand new hero that we get introduced to, and again, lowest point in the book for me, well, not the lowest point, but the lower interest in the book for me is her, and the fact that she's just hacking from the Green Lantern power battery, and she was going to Metropolis for a job at the Hall of Justice. It's like, this is not a character I could get interested in. Really isn't. I thought Amethyst was going to be leaving as well. I thought she was going to be staying behind, but at the end of the issue, she ends up joining them. But yeah, my interest in Teen Lantern, out of the entirety of the team, she is all the way at the back of the list. But they win. They go home, or they think they go home. It turns out that because of everything that went on in Gem World, they kind of banished Amethyst and the Young Justice instead. So instead of sending them back to their Earth, they just threw them into the multiverse. So now the Young Justice team has to come home, basically. And I think this is being done on purpose because I think that Bendis is waiting for Doomsday Clock to end. So the whole Dr. Manhattan thing's over. So, again, Doomsday Clock is only about 4 months away from ending, because there's only 2 more issues left. So, 2 more issues, 4 months, 4 issues of them bouncing around the multiverse. That sounds about right. That sounds about a story arc length, if not longer, because this was, what, issue 6, was it? I want to make sure what issue it was. This was Young Justice issue number 6, yeah. So, it took 6 issues to give the intro and the first story arc. I wouldn't be too surprised if it takes another 6 issues for them to bounce around the multiverse before they make it back to the main DC universe. I love Young Justice. Bendis is doing a great job with Young Justice. It's just the character Teen Lantern I have absolutely no interest in. And just because she's a hack from Bolivia, okay. She's smart, I will say that. So she might be one of the smarter ones on the team that rivals Damian. Oh, God, no. Tim a little bit, but that's about... I mean, he thought it was cool what she did. It's cool. Anyway, going into the crossover between DC and IDW at Batman TMNT Batman TMNT 3 number 2. We find out that Raphael from the original TMNT universe, the black and white TMNT universe from the 80s, we find out through him what's going on, why we are in the Batman the Batman TMNT mashup universe, and who did it, why. It was Krang. It was Krang mixed with the Anti-Monitor. He created this world. He stole the Turtles from their world. He stole Batman from the DC universe and put them on the Crisis Tower and created this mashup world. And it's up to them now to stop him and to save the multiverse, so to speak. And that's basically the long version of Raphael. And what I loved in here also was his dialogue when he said to the Turtles, my brothers and me never faced Krang. You all have multiple times already. So I need you to help me fight them. It was really cool. It's nice to see Raphael from the 1980s. I don't know why, but it's really nice. And I'm looking forward to the next issue. I'm really loving it. I'm loving this crossover a lot. Now we're going into the main DC universe. Super Sons 11. It's almost over, and that's all I keep thinking. I feel like this maxi series, while it was fun, I feel like at this point when it comes to this book, especially knowing what's happening with Damian, knowing what happened and is happening to John, and that this takes place in the past, it's them and their older selves, along with a few other characters, versus the Injustice gang, or whatever they're called. And of course, the predictable ending of, it looks like all is doomed thanks to young Rex Luthor. And that's where the book leaves off. Okay, one more issue to go. Again, ending next month. So I'm going to have to find a way to get all these books that are ending and talk about them somewhere, somehow. I really feel bad that literally this review is 1 month short of several. Well, there were conclusions this month too, so I can't truly feel that bad. And there probably will be series starting next month. I ain't extending it. 500, 3 weeks. Here we go. Batman 72. I'm not even going to talk too long about it. This was basically all of Batman's father from the Flashpoint universe's internal dialogue on why he's teaming up with Bane. Batman fighting Bane. Bane breaking Batman's back again.
How many times did he break his back?
I don't know, but I'm really losing it. I feel like at this point Again, we are ending this review soon, so I don't want to drop any books before this month's over, so I'm probably going to fall out of Batman for a while. I'm looking forward to Batman Catwoman that Tom King is taking over and doing, which I believe it's going to be a maxi series, a 12-issue maxi series, but I don't see myself really as interested in Batman anymore. Detective, I'm still interested. Batman, I'm falling out of interest. It's one of those arcs. I don't know. I'm going to stick with it till the end of this review at least. Other things to mention is Dial H and Wonder Twins. Wonder Twins I'm probably going to drop after the review's over. It's going into a maxi series. I can't see myself sticking with that for 12 full issues, even though we're at the halfway point, or the last it was supposed to be the last issue, but it's the halfway point soon. However, Dial H, I probably will stay with the extra 6 issues to see how that series ends out. So Wonder Twins and Dial H, for all of you that don't know, both of those are hitting maxi series, and that's cool. I'm happy for Dial H. I'm happy for for Wonder Twins as well. I just can't stick with Wonder Twins. It's not a book that I'm interested in. I thought I would be, but I'm not. SHAZAM issue number 6. Billy and
close to Father's Day actually, because I see
the father's there. Billy and Mary fight their way out and end up home somehow by mistake. And Black Adam falls to Dr. Savannah and Mr. Mime, which was crazy. But Billy ends up leaving with his father, and Mary, by the end of this issue, is like, I have to go find the others. And they're like, why? Where are they? And the foster parents are kind of lost. And we get a little backstory also with Billy's father. I'm doing this until I'm 100% sure it's his father, but now he wants to go looking for the mother. And I don't know, I'm skeptical about it. But anyway, Mary's trying to explain to the foster parents what's going on, and then she's like, you know what? Best way to explain it to is to show you, and she turns into Mary Marvel. So she reveals that she's Mary Marvel, which means Billy is Captain Marvel. Basically, she outs herself and the kids and Billy to the foster parents, and I think that's important, and it's going to be interesting where the series goes. I really am enjoying SHAZAM a lot. You should be reading this book. Justice League issue number 25. They fight the World Forger, and as a matter of fact, Superman ends up pushing. We think he dies. He loses a lot. I mean, he literally goes down to the bare bones, lost in space, not even close to Yellow Sun, and then he just reaches deep within him and pushes forward. And it turns out Batman, like I thought, made it so that, he made the choice that the World Forger was right. He destroyed all the suns, but he also moved them all to a certain area. And he said if Superman truly, he knew that if Superman was going to be the one to save them, he would reach for those suns. And he did. And he came back, and they fought the World Forger, and instead of destroying him, they asked him to join them. And he's like, but this world is done, this is the doom, as long as Superman exists, the world is over. They go back, and they find out that they've been gone for a week, and Lex Luthor has taken over, and has basically told the world the Justice League ruined the Source Wall, and that they must embrace doom, or else they are all doomed to die. Now, this is also going into the Year of the Villain, which is going on in all the books, which I'm sure Justice League is going to continue forward in. But yeah, Doom. And then we find out at the end of the issue, even though we heard he sacrificed himself, that Lex Luthor's alive again. Somehow. And it's going to be very interesting to see where the DC Universe goes. This is a year-long event. So this is going to be happening for the next year, everyone. Now, as far as single series like Superman, Batman, it's only going to go on for about an arc or so. But as far as like Justice League and this Year of the Villain mini-series, it's going to be going on. I think it's only supposed to be 6 issues, the Year of the Villain, if I'm correct. Or is it 12? I'm not sure, but this is going to be going on at least until this time, or a little bit earlier than this time next year. It's probably going to end around May, April. Maybe May. So this is going to be around for a while, this Year of the Villain. It's going to be interesting to see how Doom takes over the world. And Doomsday Clock didn't even finish yet. There's insane stuff going on here. So, DCeased issue number 2. This is the last time I'm going to be talking about this. I'm still on the fence with this series. Did I love this next issue? No. Did I absolutely think it was trash? No, but I still feel like this is DC's answer to Marvel Zombies. And I know I had comments about, the anti-life equation is the reason for all of this. It makes sense, and that's a good idea. And, when I was talking about the first issue, I never once said that it was the anti-life equation that didn't make sense. I said the repetitiveness of it all stemming from a fight with Darkseid was what took me out of the book. The fact that it was the anti-life equation in Cyborg that did all this, while making perfect sense, and yes, of course, reanimating and causing zombies, yeah, the anti-life equation. But they've touched on the anti-life equation, the life equation, Darkseid so many times, even though this is its own universe thing. Again, all stems from Darkseid and the anti-life equation. That's the point that was drawing me out of the book. Then, of course, more superheroes and villains are infected. We have Harley Quinn, who's going to leave Joker for Poison Ivy, which I'm sure everybody would like to see in the main DC universe as well. But here she is. But it turns out that Joker's infected. Green Lantern's infected. We get to see Green Arrow and Black Canary fighting him. And then, spoiler, he dies. And Black Canary becomes the Earth's next Green Lantern. Superman and Lois, John, and Damian are at the Daily Planet. It turns out the Daily Planet's infected. And most of them are people they know. So we've lost all the supporting cast, Superman cast, except for Lois and John now. Batman reaches out to them because Superman brings back Black Canary and Green Arrow. He finds them, saves them, brings them back to the Daily Planet. And Batman, we find out, as we knew at the end of the last issue, he's infected. He's using Mr. Freeze's technology to slow down the process so he can tell them, give a message to them. He gives them the message. He goes berserk, and Alfred's the one that ends him before he can do any harm to anyone. And that was I will say this, the ending was powerful. Just to know that Batman tried to stop it and still, he's tried to find a cure for it. There's no cure for it. And at that very moment is where he goes crazy, or where the disease takes over. And to have Alfred kind of like cut the comms so that Damian can't hear what happens, but we all know, because the book ends with a bang. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean, it ended with the word bang. We know what happened. And that's insane. So the world no longer has Batman. So how are they going to survive? Again, this is one of those books where I'm sure a lot of people have already dropped it. A lot of people aren't interested in it. At this point, especially because this is the last time I'm going to be reviewing it on the Dark Avenger comic book review, I feel like I want to read it to the end just to see where it goes. But this is basically... And I don't want to hate on any type of book. I mean, DC wants to do a zombie book. They should have the ability to, even though Marvel's already done one. Even though Walking Dead was the original zombie book that kind of made everybody interested in zombies. I mean, DC has the right to try their hand in the zombie pool, and this is their way. And I don't know. I'm going to continue reading it. I don't fault DC for it. I mean, it's an interesting story. I mean, if I really thought it was absolute trash, I'd be like, nope, I'm done. It's over. But at the same time, I feel like I've read it with Marvel. I've read it with Walking Dead. And I don't know how... We have to see where the series goes. Honestly, we'll see where the next issue goes in the next issue. But there are gaps. There are things that we just have to accept as readers in the book. And it kind of is like, okay. I don't know. DCeased is if you really want, I'd say give it a look into. I know a lot of people are either loving it or hating it. There's very few people in between. I'm one of the very few that are kind of in between right now. I'm on the fence with it. If it goes one way, if it goes one way, or if I stay the way I am now, I'll read it to completion. If it goes the other way, I'll probably end up just stopping it whatever issue I'm on. I'm not so invested that I have to finish it at this point right now. I mean, if we get to the second to last issue, then that's a different story, but right now I'm on the fence with it. But is it a masterpiece? No. It's in the middle. Closer to the lower half of the middle, but it's in the middle. Give it a look into. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Like I said, either people really like it or really hate it. With that, that's it for this review, though. So, third down, 2 more to go, 98 and 99. And hopefully we'll have 98 back on time. All depends on how many books come out this week. All depends on how fast we can read it. I will promise you all this. No matter what, there's only 2 more left until we hit 500. No matter what, 500 will be on July 1st. I don't care if I have to stay up all night and all day to read those books. That review will be on July 1st because in another couple of weeks, I'm going to let 2 more weeks pass, I will be setting up the live show. That will be on July 1st, 2019 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll know when I set up the live show. I'll probably set it for 9 o'clock anyway. Even if we're 10 minutes late, we're 10 minutes late. It will be on July 1st. So that review will be on July 1st. Keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye out for the live show. Lots will be coming. As I said, things end so other things can begin. So you will be there for the ending, and you will be there for what's coming next and what is beginning, so to speak. So thank you all for being here so much. Your turn now. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts about any of the books we talked about here. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree. Recommendations. If you'd like to throw out a recommendation, you're still welcome because we still read a lot of comic books each and every week. And sometimes we find something through other people who recommend books. So, till then, take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. And we'll see you all really soon on the next episode.
Later, everybody.